Hello, everybody. My name is Charlie Strobel. I'm the Director of Product Experience here at Astra. It's my pleasure to talk to you today during our session about feedback, specifically your feedback and why it's so critical for us. Before we jump in, I'd like to take a second and recenter the conversation a little bit on our mission. Everything we do at Astra revolves around this statement: graduate more students faster. The decisions we make from a product priority perspective, all the way down to the smallest little feature or bug enhancement, we always measure those decisions against this statement. Are we able, by doing this, to help more students graduate? Can they graduate faster, meaning on time or even sooner? And are they able to get that credential and get out into the real world to get the job that they need to help benefit themselves, benefit their families, et cetera, et cetera? So are we doing what we can to enable you all to help those students? So everything that we do focuses on this, including this topic of gathering your feedback, bringing it into our process to help us build better products for you so that you can help your students. Okay? So before we get started on feedback in particular, I really like this quote from Robert Allen: "There is no failure, only feedback." For us, as a design process, as a design team, a product team, an engineering team, etc., um, we make a lot of very small bets all the time, right? So we talk to customers, we go to our our whiteboards and our Zoom meetings, and we discuss what is the next most important thing that we can do for our customers, right? And in the process of building those things and designing those things, um, we take little bets here and there. Is this the best thing to do? We think so. Let's go do a little bit of work, and then let's bring our customers in for feedback, right? So we aren't necessarily afraid of failure. Okay, what we do is we make small bets along the way to make improvements in our products, to release new products, and we bring feedback along the way, right? So there is no failure, only feedback. To us, what that means is we have the freedom to be creative. We have the freedom to try new things and to push the limits. And getting your feedback helps make sure that we're on the right track. It helps make sure that we're releasing things and putting things out into the market that help you do your job, that are game changing for you, that in turn, as I said before, help you help students. So, like, for us as a design team and as a product team, um, we aren't afraid of failure, right? We would be afraid if we didn't have your feedback and your involvement. So I really appreciate this quote from Robert Allen and what it means for us. So let's take a second and talk about how we gather feedback, right? It's core for us to create as many avenues for gathering your feedback as possible. There are more than this, but these are the four main channels that we gather feedback from you guys. First, we have our client advisory board. Now, this is a group of customers who are elected essentially to serve on the advisory board, and we meet with them on a regular basis, and we gather direct feedback from them, largely on the market and how they're using our products, et cetera, et cetera. It's a very targeted discussions. And mostly at the strategic level, like what moves should we be making? What moves are best for the market? What moves are best for you? Those kind of discussions happen there. Our user panel is it's a group of users, and by the way, it's free to sign up. Anybody can be a part of our user panel. What we do is we bring in folks into our design process and into our validation process that when you sign up, you say, this is who I am, this is my role, et cetera, et cetera. And as we start building things, we reach out to folks who've agreed to be a part of the user panel, largely to play an active role in the development of new products and the validation of new products. Our community is a online forum, essentially. You can navigate to it from help.adastra.live. It's meant to be a open forum for the community of people around our products to participate in conversations that they essentially drive. Right. This is not a Ad Astra led community. Obviously, we are out there and we play a role. We participate, but the energy within the community largely comes from you guys, and we think that's important. And lastly, the what we affectionately call Astrabot. Astrabot is a tool that's embedded in our some of our products that allows you all to actively provide feedback to us as you're using the products, right? So everything from bugs and enhancements to general feedback to insights you may have about the product, all the way to browsing our knowledge base and getting help that way, et cetera, et cetera. Astrabot's a cool little tool. So throughout the presentation here, we're going to dive into each one of these in more detail and highlight how they help us do what we do. Before we get into that, though, I'd like to talk about how we actually use your feedback. So if you think about the design process, right, going all the way at the very front to research. Let's say we have an idea to go do something to help our customers. The first thing we do is we do the research up ahead, right? The market research. Is this a good idea from a market perspective? Is it something that has demand? Is it something that it's going to help a lot of our customers? Do we have the ability to actually deliver it, to get it out into the market? We go through all of that research to sort of help us curate our backlog of ideas, right? And we bring folks into that process as we are considering ideas and challenging ourselves to think of new ideas. Our customers are every bit a part of that conversation, okay? Discovery sounds a lot like research, but this is a very intentional step in our process. What discovery means is we are taking a very specific targeted topic and going through the effort of scoping that work, of again validating the market value. We're talking about how we deliver it and to what channels. We're talking about how we market it, et cetera, et cetera. So discovery is a very intentional step in our process to make sure that internally we are all aligned to the goals that the customers have, and in turn, all aligned on how we help you guys help your students. Building is pretty obvious, right? So as we are going through the process of building new product and building out services, we bring those customers along for the ride, right? You guys are such a critical part in authoring the you play such a critical role in helping us author these tools, because we actively engage along the way. So as we're building, we build the smallest, tiniest little pieces when we build products, right? We're not gone are the days of software companies just building this giant bucket of features and then pushing it out into the market as one big thing, right? That sort of release methodology is riddled with issues, requires a ton of testing, is quite scary for the vendors as well as the people using it. And our development methodology has largely shifted from that to more of a continuous development perspective, where we are building tiny little pieces and getting them out in the market as quickly as possible. And by nature, that means we get to involve you in the building process in a much more seamless way than maybe we were ever able to before. So as we're building these things, we get them into the hands of our customers, either in a prototype experience, or maybe we are able to target customers for early releases of things, and they get to play with it. We jump on the phone with them and watch them use it. It's really quite a fun experience. Again, to make sure that as we build these things, we are able to stay on the rails, right? Make sure that we are in lockstep with our customers and delivering what they need. So having you guys engage during the building and authoring process is so critical. And then lastly, with validation, this is exactly what it sounds like. We rely on your feedback to validate that we've done the right stuff, okay? And that goes for many different verticals of the process, right? We want to validate that we've created something that has true value for you, that we've solved a migraine problem for you. There's this book written by Diana Kander called All in Startup, and one of the things she talks about in that book is the notion of the difference between a headache problem and a migraine problem. Most people will live with a headache problem, right? And maybe that's a part of your process that's less than ideal, but you know what? You've got something that kind of works, and going through the rigmarole of putting in a new process and getting new tools and all of those things is maybe just not worth it to you to go through all that process. But a migraine problem, people will go to the ends of the earth to get rid of a migraine. So when we build these products, we're hoping to solve these migraine problems for you. Things that when we put these tools out, you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe that migraine is finally gone. I can't believe I don't have to do that anymore. And this is what validation is all about, right? We get these tools in your hands, you're able to help us understand, yes, we've done the right stuff. Here's the problems that it's solving, and let's see it working in action before we do a general broad release to the market. And that's a really critical thing. I hope everyone understands. Part of this new building process is ensuring that as we push things out into the market, your peers have had their hands on it. Your peers have seen it. They've been able to provide feedback to us. They've been able to say, this works great here. There's a gap here. And when we find those gaps, we fix them before we push them out. So the validation process is incredibly important, and one that we're thrilled we have customers helping us out with. So let's talk about the Client Advisory Board. The Client Advisory Board is a group of customers that essentially help us shape our product and services, okay? As you can see here, we work collaboratively, that's a big word, to understand the needs of the higher education market, and we focus our energy on independently understanding from them, not just the market as a whole, but their specific school, understanding how we can help them meet the needs of their students with the finite resources that they have, right? So it's critical within our Client Advisory Board to open up the communication channels with them so that we understand specifically for each school what their challenges are. We intentionally have a diverse group of institutions, a diverse group of folks on that advisory board, so that we get as many perspectives as we can get when we're doing our research and trying to understand the challenges that you all face. The other thing our Client Advisory Board does is they help represent the needs and concerns from our client, our customers as a whole, right? Our Client Advisory Board is open. They listen to other customers, and they help represent the needs and concerns of our customer base as a whole. So if you're a customer and you have something that you think could help us out, feel free to reach out to the folks on the Client Advisory Board. They're a great sounding board for your ideas and your concerns. We have our entire Client Advisory Board always posted publicly out on our website at aais.com. Reach out to them, get engaged with them. They have, our Client Advisory Board members are, again, members of our community, so you can reach out to them there too. But the more information they have about your concerns and the things that you're faced with and the areas that you think Ad Astra can improve to help you out, they have an open ear to us all the time to have those conversations, those planning and strategic conversations that your feedback through them is also critically important. And as I said before, one of the things we absolutely rely on our CAB for is understanding industry trends. It's obviously no secret to everybody, we're virtual this year. One of the trends that we've all had to grab the sort of bull by the horns, I'm using giant air quotes here, is COVID. How are we surviving that? What are schools doing? What are the trends that we're seeing happen across our customer base? And we as a vendor partner need to understand those things very intimately, so that we can do what we can to help you guys solve the problems that you're presented with. And our CAB has been fantastic in helping educate us and helping us see what specific challenges they have, helping us have empathy for the problems that they're trying to solve, so that we internally can do what we can to play a role there and to play our part to help you guys be successful. And lastly, we have groups that help and participate in product development partnership programs. As I said before, we absolutely rely on everybody to play a role as we're building products and as we're getting these things off the ground. We depend on the CAB for that. They play an active role in that process, and without their feedback, we think we would be half as successful as we would be. And in turn, with their feedback, we think we're providing much better products to you all. So how do we gather feedback from the CAB specifically? So we have client advisory board meetings. The client advisory board meetings are, they occur on a recurring basis. We have different subgroups of our client advisory board. We have a strategic group, we have a product group, and we have a platform group. The product group is largely focused on an end user's experience with our products. Our platform group is largely focused on the infrastructure that we need to support the infrastructure that you guys are building our products out within. The strategy group is focused on some of those higher level industry-wide topics. Each group meets on its own cadence. Our product group meets once a month. Our platform group meets once a quarter. Et cetera, et cetera. They all have their own cadence. Now, the intention here is we allow each group to sort of set their own rules, right? Which is really important. We want these groups to be as effective as possible. And so we, even down to setting up the agenda for these meetings, we allow the group itself to self-curate the agenda. We use lean coffee format, which we have found to be really, really beneficial. The members of the client advisory board are able to bring topics to the meeting that we discuss, and then it's just an open forum for discussion. We talk about everything, like I said before, from COVID to a particular software challenge they have, to how what customers are integrating our products with and what the challenges are there, and who's successful and how are they successful. The CAB shares tips and tricks with each other, et cetera, et cetera. And like I mentioned, it's just an open forum for us to discuss these topics that are largely driven from the CAB community themselves. So just a plug here, we'll be accepting applications for the CAB again in the summer of 2022. We are just now wrapping up a round of interviews for new CAB members, and updates to that, to the roster of CAB members will be coming very soon. And it's really, really exciting to welcome those who are going to be new to our CAB. And of course, we are forever thankful to those who served on the CAB and provided all their insights and played an active role in helping us accomplish our goals. So those who are departing, of course, we're forever in your debt, and thank you so much for all the effort that you put in helping us. So let's discuss the user panel. The user panel, like the CAB, is a community of customers who help provide feedback to us. But the pivot I would make here is this is largely focused on helping us, helping us build products at the product level. Okay, our user panel is free to sign up for. If you go to aais.com/adastra user panel with the hashes in there, of course, you can sign up. We ask, what's your role? What are your common jobs? This kind of stuff. So that as we go to ask questions of our user panel, we're able to focus the questions to the folks who would be able to provide the best feedback for us, okay? The bigger our user panel is, the better. We often send things like mock-ups or invites to roundtable conversations, or even UI for them to do testing. These are the folks that we reach out to on a regular basis to play an active, hands-on role in developing, designing, and delivering our products. It's so fun. If you've had a chance to jump on the phone with us and provide that feedback, thank you so much. If you haven't, I can't tell you how fun it is, particularly from our perspective, from my perspective, to get on the phone with customers and share new product ideas and hear from them about the challenges that they face. as we jump into a very specific topic, right? Like we're hoping to go solve problem A, B, and C, and tell us more about how that affects you on your campus. Tell us more about the challenges that you face in that regard, and learn from them. And as we start building these things, we reach back out to those folks and we say, hey, you know, we think we've built something that might help with the challenges we talked about. And we get their feedback and we have them test product and we have them get hands-on with the product and tell us what's working and what isn't for them. And it really helps us course correct our products, make sure we're still on track to delivering something of value. And then of course the validation step I mentioned earlier, once we have a solution that we like, that we think is going to meet your needs, we bring those folks back in again to play with it, and you know, do some of that testing and do some of that validation to make sure that we're delivering what they need. The last thing I would mention is we have an intentionally, again, diverse group of folks on the user panel. We have everybody from tactical schedulers who maybe sit in the registrar's office, all the way up to deans and CAOs and other folks who have more of a leadership role on campus. It's important for us to be able to have a bench, so to speak, of people from all of those different perspectives. So as we're building products, we can validate against those different perspectives. You know, this might be a product that we're building today that's focused on a registrar's experience, but tomorrow we may be building a planning product that's built on an experience for a dean. And we want to be able to have folks that kind of fill those different roles. So we have a bench of folks to reach out to get actively engaged in helping us deliver these products. So there is no role that's off limits. If you fill any role that takes advantage of Ad Astra products, I encourage you to sign up. We so depend on your feedback, and this is a good way to do it. So again, the user panel provides just-in-time product for our engineering and design teams. And this is the thing that I think is really, really critical. We might reach out to the user panel. You know, we start building something on Monday. We might reach out Monday afternoon and hope to get feedback by the end of the day, right? So that's kind of the context in which we use the user panel. The user panel, unlike the CAB, we don't have scheduled meetings that come on the calendar on a recurring basis. This is more, hey, we've got a challenge in front of us, and we don't want to take another step forward without engaging our customers and getting their feedback. So this is largely just in time feedback. And I think that's critical for everyone to know. And again, here are some of the activities that we focus on when engaging our user panel. Interviews, online surveys, testing, design feedback, et cetera, et cetera. So again, for us, and it's stated here, I think, well, we need to understand your users' behaviors, the needs of your users, and most importantly, their motivations. What problems are they trying to solve? So the community, this is largely a forum, right? It's a pretty simple concept. It's there 24/7. It's there for folks to ask questions. It's there for them to share tips and tricks with each other, and even provide and vote for product feedback, right? If you jump out to the community, you'll see a lot of topics out there. If you have questions or knowledge to share with other folks, jump out there, sign up for the community and get engaged, because for me, selfishly, it's super exciting to see a customer ask a question and have another customer come in and help them complete or help them answer that question and get moving on solving their problem. You know, historically, software companies a lot of times would do this through support and do this through asking the vendor directly about this stuff. But the reality is you guys have so much knowledge about our tools and so much knowledge about how you creatively solve problems with our tools, that having you help your peers and do those things in really interesting and creative ways is so awesome. And so I encourage everybody to go out and sign up. And you know, there's no pressure to actively communicate. If you want to just be a fly on the wall and read the conversations and understand what's going on, of course that's allowed too. You know, at Astra staff, we are involved in the community to a degree. If there are questions out there that we can help with, we might jump in there and answer it. But this is largely a community for you all, right? I mean, this is meant to be for customers, by customers. So the more participation we have there, and the more commenting and replies and feedback, we think the better for all of you. Astrobot, now this is something that's pretty exciting for us on the product team. Astrobot is a tool that we've built into the new AdAstra platform for you to engage with our support teams and engage with our product teams. This is, think of this as your direct lifeline to my product team and to our support group. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner of your app, and I'm talking specifically about Align and Monitor, when you log into the new framework, that bottom right-hand corner, you'll see the little bot guy there. He's a little blue button, and you can open him up, and he'll provide everything from platform-wide knowledge base to our guides for the apps, and then also provide a mechanism for you to give feedback. It's pretty cool. As I said before, everything that's submitted through Astrobot is monitored by our support team and our product team. We meet every single week on a regular basis to go through the feedback that you all provide, and we take it very seriously. We do our best to respond to the feedback, and I can't tell you how many ideas that have been submitted through Astrobot have actually made it into our product. It's a pretty awesome experience there. So let's jump into some of the specifics in Astrobot. So Astrobot, as I mentioned, has three areas of value, right? And one of those is the knowledge base. So what Astrobot does is, depending on which screen you are on in the app, it will read the screen and it will auto search our knowledge base for help articles. Now this is pretty cool. So if you're using a page within Align, it's going to search keywords from the screen in our knowledge base. And if you click on Astrobot and you click on the knowledge base button there, it's going to pre-filter those search articles or it's going to pre-filter the search for articles in our knowledge base that are specific to the screen you're looking at. So you have that direct value there from the knowledge base without having to leave the app, without having to go out to the help site and browse there. Of course you can do that, and we encourage it. But if you just need that really quick tip and trick, or really quick how-to, it's out here at your fingertips, and it's finding it all by itself. When you click on an article, it is the full article. You get the preview here, and if you want to open it up in the help site, it will give you a link right at the bottom of the article and will automatically open in a new tab. So not only is it doing pre-searching, but it's also connecting you to the full article if you need some more of the help features that we offer out in our help site. Now, feedback is the second mechanism that Astrobot provides, and it allows you to give my team and our support team feedback on everything from issues, meaning bugs and quirks that you might find in the product. You can submit them right here, and they'll get logged as a ticket. It allows you to deliver feature requests. So if you are using a part of the product and you think, man, if it could do just this one thing a little differently, that would really help me out, you can jump out here and provide that to us as well. And then general feedback, and other people will use that just to give us contextual feedback to the challenge that they're solving, or how they're trying to do something. And they maybe are not sure, is this working as a bug, or is this really a feature request? Go ahead and select general feedback and provide that feedback. All feedback is great, and we depend on it. And then lastly, our guides and tutorials. These are pretty cool. As you jump into the new products and you're getting engaged with those, having these tutorials here in Astrobot is really kind of awesome, right? So you get engaged to a new product. We will give you a little pop-up when the first time you use that product that kind of walks you through the product. They come straight from Astrobot. So as you go through that and you dismiss it, just know you can click down there on Astrobot and you can get all those back when you go through the guides. You can rewatch them as many times as you like. It will show you which ones you've watched and how far along you are. It'll show you which ones you haven't. So it kind of keeps track of all the tools that you've taken advantage of from Astrobot, which is really kind of nice. So as you're going through those things, you can see, oh, you know what, I haven't watched a guide on Monitor all the way through. Maybe there's something in there I missed. And if you jump back in there and navigate all the way through it, it'll give you a little check mark there so that you know you haven't missed anything. So, what are the takeaways from this conversation? I really think it's important to walk away from these sessions with tools in your tool belt, right? The things that I would like to see everybody do, if you're open to it, is joining the user panel. As I mentioned before when we discussed it, the more folks we have in the user panel, the better. The more you're willing to participate in the process of designing, developing, and delivering these products, the better we think they will be. So signing up there at aais.com/add-astra-user-panel will get you there. It's just a little simple form. Go ahead and fill it out, and we'll make sure that you're included in those conversations. And of course, contribute to the discussion about everything at Astra in our community. The links here as well. Uh, Again, the more robust and community-driven the community is, we think the better for everybody. And lastly, as I mentioned, feel free to connect to the members of our CAB. It's out there on our website. You can jump in, you can see who they are, reach out to them, share ideas with them, make sure they understand your pain points so that they can bring those back to us and help us all get better. As a general reminder, if you have comments or you want to share ideas about this session or have feedback from me personally, jump out to the community, search for the topic of Aspire 2020 sessions, and there'll be a post about this particular session there. Go ahead and add your feedback. Let us know how we've done, any ideas that you may have, or of course, any questions that you have. Feel free to add those there, and we'll be monitoring that and responding. Again, my name is Charlie Strobel. I'm the Director of Product Experience here at Ad Astra. Here's my contact information. Thanks so much for joining. I'm thrilled to have everybody here at Aspire virtually this year. I miss everybody's smiling face. This will be my fourth Aspire. And of course, we love getting everybody here in person and seeing all of you again and getting to talk about the year that you've had since last Aspire. But we're doing it virtually, and we're going to make this an awesome year, and I can't wait to talk to you guys. So feel free, as you're navigating this virtual experience this year at Aspire, reach out to me. Let me know how things have gone. Let me know how your year has gone since last Aspire. I'm very, very anxious to catch up with everybody. So with that, I'll say goodbye and thank you very much.